Samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma sambuddhassa. Okay. So today we are going to start, because last time we discussed about King Pasenadi Kosala and we had a long discussion about paramis and so forth. Today we have a question number 37. I hope you can see the screen. According to this question, this is Yatha Labha, the Yatha Labhanaya. So this question, I had to ask my friend for the grammatical explanation as how they study in Myanmar. What is the normal explanation they give for the word Yatha Labha? He sent me an answer. Just give me one moment. Yeah. So the answer he sent me was Yo-yo Labo Yatha Labo. It's a Abhi Bhava Samasa. We know that. Abhi Bhava Samasa. The labha here means the thing or the meaning that is suitable to obtain. Meaning that is suitable to obtain. That is the labha here. Labitabba, right? Labitabboti yaba. Labitappa means not the what that we should get, it's like the most suitable. Then based on that, Yatha labang gahetabbo nayo. Yatha labha nayo. Right? So this is in the adverbial meaning. Kirya Visesana. So whatever that is suitable to obtain, yo-yo labo. Labha here means what is suitable to obtain. What anything that is suitable to be obtained is called Yatha Labha. Right? Yatha Labang. So not Yatha Labu, Yatha Labang. Because of Bhava. Then Yatha Labang Gahetabbo Nayo. The method Yatha Labang Gahetabbo Nayo. The method that should be taken, like that should be used, taken, considering whatever that should is suitable to obtain. So the method that we used to get the meaning, to pick the meanings that are the most suitable according to the context. According to the context, that are more suitable. So the best example that was given was like, for example, someone sees Puriso Udake Matcha Kachape. Matcha Kachape. Matcha is fish, Kachapa is tortoise, and so forth. Kachape. Then Sakkare. Katalaki. I forgot the word. Sakkarani. Matcha Kachape, Sakkarani. Okay, wait. Matcha Kachape cha Sakkarani cha Gachante ti Tittanteti passati. The man in the water sees the fish and the tortoise and also the stones that are going and also standing, like being still. So as we know, Macha Kachapa means fish and the tortoise sometimes move and also sometimes stand still. But when we come to Sakarani, the stones, we are not talking about the stones which are floated. Stones normally doesn't move, they remain in one place. So, according to this Yatalabanaya, this Gachante and Tittante, the adjective clause, adverb, we call it participle clause, two words, should be connected accordingly. Macca kaccape gachantepi tittantepi passati, sakkarani tittante passati. So gachante, macca kaccape is connected to both, but sakkarani is only connected to tittanti. So this is called yathalabha. You have to connect the meaning according to the context or according to the what is practical. Yeah, this is called the yathalabha explanation. Anything to be discussed here?
No, Bande.
Okay, right. Then we go to the next one. Could you please analyze the following sentence grammatically? Atava kamanche kamanche kamanchekanta sukha samapitang pitanang devanang dukkaja roga na sambhavanti tadanatti tadanatti vatta tadanat anivatta tadananivatta sabhavathaya pana tepi aghavino parijunati cha buddha eka putta suttaka udanattakata. I think we found this sentence in one commentary. Especially the two words kaman chekanta sukha samapitanang and tadani tad anivatta sabhavata. Tadanivatta sabhavata. So what is these two sentences grammatically? Could you please analyze this sentence? So we'll take this sentence separately. Yeah. So yeah, it here. Atava, another way of explaining. Atava means we are giving an alternative. Kaman chekanta sukha samapitanan devana dukkha jara roga na sambhavanti. So because I think in the commentary it says everyone is afflicted by the dukkha, jara, roga, and so forth. But now the commentary is suggesting, because we know in Brahma world and in some Deva worlds, some means higher Deva worlds, we don't see any sickness and jara suffering like getting old and so forth. So how can we put them into dukkha satya? How can we consider them still as beings who are in suffering? Because it's a universal truth. So how can we apply? So that's why they are saying it is true that these sufferings do not occur in such devas, but pana tadanivatta sabhavathaya tepi aghavinoti parijunnati utta, because they have not gone beyond anivatta sabhavathaya tang tadan ativatta tadanivatta sabhavathaya. So they have not gone beyond. So then the words that are should be analyzed is this and this. Hmm. So first word is Kaman Chekanta Sukha Samapitanan Devana. So this is a modifier of Devana, right? Modifier. Sukha Samapita. Ekanta Sukha Samapitana. So the word should be divided. Kamancha, Kamang, Cha, Ekanta Sukha Samapita, Pita, Deva, Pitanang, whatever. Samapita, Deva. If you just put it in the nominative case. Kamang is indeed, for certainly. This is a Nipata. Nipata. Then we have meaning called that kama has sometimes kama refers to sensual pleasures. Here kama means that is certainly, or it is like which makes it indeed or certainly. Cha, cha we just ignore that part. Ekanta sukha samapita deva. Ekanta sukha samapita. Samapita means normally we translate it as endowed, like one who is when someone is uh, together with, like has had fully samapita. This called normally is endowed with, possessed of. So when someone is endowed with such something, we call samapita. Ekanta sukha samapita. Ekanta means sukha samapita means endowed with happiness. Ekanta means only with happiness. It's not, they are not endowed with any sort of suffering. So they are fully endowed with the suffering, unfailing, extremely, we can say, one-sided on one end. So they are, we can say, extremely endowed with suffering, or they are only endowed with suffering, whatever means what we get. So these devas are endowed with the suffering, and it is indeed Kaman Chekanta Sukha Samapita Deva. Kaman. So this Nigrahita changed into Nya because of the Cha, and this R and A are got to Sanda. That's why it become this form. So actually the two connected words are Ekanta Sukha Samapita Deva. So it says, because indeed that devas who are endowed with happiness only, they don't get these dukkha, jara, roga, and so forth. They don't appear in them. But still, tadani tad anativatta sabhavataya pan. Anativatta sabhavataya. Tadani tadanati vatta sabhavatha sabhavataya. So this is because of instrumental or ablative. So tha, this is the word. Tha is the tadita suffix, bhava suffix. So we can tadani, tadanati vatta sabhavo plus sabhava, for example, plus ta. Then tadanitivatta sabha means anativatta sabha. Thang plus anativatta sabhava. So this comes from the word ativatta. Na ativatta sabhava. So ativatta sabhava means, ativatta means one who has gone beyond. Sabhava, the nature. Ativatta sabhavo yassa, the one who has. Ativatta, ativattas. So, like for example, jati dhammo, the one who has the nature of being born. So, ativatta sabhava means one who has the nature of having gone beyond. So, ativattasya sabhavo yassa, so ativatta sabhavo. One who has gone beyond. Na ativatta sabhavo means, or otherwise we can say anativatta sabhavo, or we can put it like this: anativatta sabhavo yassa, the one who has the nature of not gone beyond, not gone beyond. So what he has not gone beyond is tongue. This tongue actually refers to dukkha jara roga. Dukkha jara roga. So grammatically we have to say te anativatta sabhava. So when we put into samasa, we put it into tongue because it comes into the stem. Tad actually. Tad. Better in Sanskrit version. Tad. So that's why tadanivatta. Tad is the actual stem of tongue. So here this ta refers to this ta, tad refers to this roga and so forth. Like tang sampayuttakanang dhammana. Tang sampayutta is a one word. That tang refers to the how to say hetus and so forth. Hetu sampayuttakanang dhammana. So Tan samuttananancha rupana. Tan samuttanana means it refers to sampayutta, those hetus. So, so likewise, this tad refers to this sort of suffering. So anativatta sabhava means one who has the nature of not gone beyond, whom these suffering. Then tha suffix, again, anativatta sabhava tha indicates that nature again. So anativatta sabhava refers to the person who has not gone beyond. So tadanivatta sabhava, tadanati vatta sabhava refers to a person, a being who has the nature of, who doesn't have the nature, who has the nature of not gone beyond those suffering. Why these sufferings? That refers to tad. How can we get it as suffering? Because of the context, tad refers to these dukkha roga and so forth. Yeah, so then tha suffix indicates that nature again. So this word refers to the person, and tha suffix refers to his nature, that being's nature of not having gone beyond that suffering. So tadanati vatta sabhava tha refers to the nature of a being who has not who has the nature of not gone beyond those suffering. But in the end, seems like we come back again to the same meaning. So because of that, Thaya, even they are called Aghavino Parjunnats. They are also called Aghavino and Parjunna. So the first sentence says, it is true that they are indeed they don't have these they are endowed only with happiness, so they don't have these kinds of sufferings, but still, as they have not gone beyond those, because they fall back into that sufferings, so they fall back into that suffering, they have the nature of falling back into such sufferings, they should also be called agavinu and parijuna. Yeah, this is how we explain these two terms.
Okay, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Bante. So there are two questions. So the first one is, what is that ja, Bante? In the kamang ja e kanta sukha samapatita. Yeah, what is that ja?
Common Kansu. This is not collective, right? It cannot be
No,
end. It's not end.
I don't think it's N. So it should have, yeah, should have
Uh, is it okay? I'll check with my friend and send you the answer tomorrow. This one, because cha, according to what I have studied, cha have many meanings.
right.
So
Yeah.
it can refer to, if my knowledge was correct, 9 meanings in sentences. So this is talking about maybe this refers to show that this is an argument. I'll check with him and ask this.
Okay, Bante. Thanks,
Let-
Bante. Yeah. And the other one is, so here you explain that the anatiwata sabawa, it's the bahubihi samasa. So can we always assume that when, sabawa is in the samasa, it's always bahubihi samasa?
Most of the cases. Most of the cases. In some cases, now, for example, most of the cases what I have gone through is it's a Bahubi Samasa. It's a Bahubi. But technically, now, for example, we say Tadda Sabhava. When we go into technically, Tadda is hard, right? Sabhavu. So Tadda Sabhava can refers to a reality which has the hard nature, and also it can be the hard just sorry. So it can also be the hard nature itself. So taddo sabhavu. So here tadda, here we get the meaning taddo sabhavo yasa. Here we get the meaning taddo sabhavo. Technically possible. There is a possibility. Or taddasa sabhavu sometimes. A tappurisa samasa also. We can, it's a possible. The nature of the hard thing. Tada is referring as a hard thing. In this case, tad, I have to check whether it's taddang or taddo. We have to check about this. What is the gender we should use here? But it is acting as an adjective here. So likewise, we can have some possibilities about this. But as you said, in most of the cases that I've gone through, it mostly refers to Bahubihi Samasa. Bahubihi Samasa.
Okay, but then in this particular case, because it has the another suffix ta, so this the bawatadita, so we know for sure that the that word is Bahubihi Samasa, right?
Yeah,
Pati?
yeah. That is with ta suffix for sure, because otherwise it become nature of nature.
Right,
Sabhava,
right,
sabhavata, something like that. Yeah.
right.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Pati.
Okay, no more questions. So we go for the next question. Te sampiva pubba nimittupattiya patichanna jaraya chetasika rogasya cha vasena dukkadinang sambhavo veditabbo. The same sutta, same commentary. In this sentence, what are the case of the words pubba nimittupattiya and patichanna jaraya? In other words, how should we understand them grammatically? Yeah. So then we go into that analysis. Te sampi va. Ubba nimittu. Now another explanation. Now they are giving va, another alternative. So here they gave they are not still not excluded from the beings who are suffering because of one reason. Because they have not overcome. Because they have the nature of falling back into the suffering in the human realm and so forth. Then another explanation how this suffering can be found in the Deva world. Te sampi. Why is saying there's another alternative. Te sampi, even also for them. Pubba nimittu patya patichanna jaraya chetasika rogasya cha vasena dukkadinang sambhavo veditabbo. Sambhavo is occurrence. Veditabbo should be known. Dukkadinang sambhavo, the occurrence of suffering and so forth should be known. Vasena, in terms of this. Now we have to answer what is the in terms. What is the manner? Why? How should we? Their suffering, occurrence of suffering should be known in this manner, in this method. Te sampi, to them also, for the devas who are in real or full happiness. So here then they are giving two reasons. This cha refers to pubba nimittu patya patichanna jaraya chetasika rogasya. So we can have either we can have three meanings or we have to see now how many meanings that we can take, right? Take. Pubba nimittu patya. Pubba nimitta means when they are going to die, some deities get the signs of their death. These are not the before death signs that we humans normally get, not kamma nimitta gati nimitta. I think you have gone through. There are few signs, like 5 signs of a deva who is going to die. They don't. One is they are the shines of their shining of their jewelry diminishes, reduces. Sometimes the sweat starts to come out from their armpits. Another experience is like the flowers and so forth in their body and also in their mansion starts to wither. Flowers wither. And also their clothes become dirty. Finally, they are not happy in their mansion, in their seats or in their mansion, in their domain, like Sakka's special seat and so forth. They are not happy. They are not satisfied with that. They don't feel happiness. So these are the 5 signs we call Pubba Nimitta, right? Just give one more. So they don't feel happy in their mansion. Next class. So this so Pubba Nimittu Patya. So starting from this moment, after the signs have occurred, Patichanna jaraya chetasika rogasya cha vasena. Patichanna jara means there are two types of jara. Apatichanna jara and patichanna jara. Apatichanna jara means the aging that is visible, like the humans. Humans' body, the skin starts to wrinkle, the hair starts to become gray. So these are apatichanna jara. It's like very obvious. Their aging is obvious. But for the devas also, there is a jara, there is a decaying, but that is very hidden. That is very hidden. So the sign, how they know that they have come into the aging, that they are supposed to die, that is by when they start to see the signs. So, so they have from the moment they have occurred, the signs have occurred. So their jara is obvious, but actually their patichanna jara has been happening throughout their life, not only during that time. It has occurred from the how to say, from long time, since long time. So then chetasika rogas, what happens is when the Kubba Nimitta has occurred, they start to feel a lot of suffering. They start to feel a lot of suffering. They feel very sad. So normally it is said, it is said that they starts to other devas take them to the Nandana garden, the Nandana Vana, the garden which is called Nandana. So which is a very, very, very beautiful place. Even a deity who is in sadness, who is sad due to about to die, would feel happy in the Nandanavana. So this is Chetasika Roga, is the especially the sorrow and the lamentation, these things that occur in him. So because of these Roga, Chetasika Roga, now here we have to understand the Buddha mentions Jara and Roga. If you go into the Sutta, Ekaputtaka Sutta, right? So he was mentioning something related to the sufferings of sickness and aging. So now they are going to bring how the sickness and aging can be found in Deva realm. The sickness, what they are going to say is, from the moment the signs have occurred, they get a mental sickness, that they become really, really sad. That is sorrow in the mind. Jara also is found, though it has happened throughout the entire Deva life, it become obvious after the nimittas have occurred. So they are now, they have come into aging. It becomes obvious they are supposed to die. So it seems, but my understanding, Kubba Nimittu Patya, after the from the Kubba Nimittu Upatya Patthaya, Kubba Nimittu Upatya Patthaya, from the after the Kubba Nimitta has occurred, Patichanna Jaraya Vasena, Ubbanimittupattiya Patthaya Chetasika Rogasya cha Vasena. So in terms of now, Chetasika Rogasya is genitive case, Rogasya Vasena. Patichanna Jaraya is also genitive case because feminine gender. So in terms of hidden decaying and also mental sickness in the mental factors, such suffering, occurrence of such suffering should be known to them as well. So this, according to this, Kubbanimitu Patya Upatya Patthaya is just ablative meaning. So because we know when we want to get the ablative meaning, sometimes to emphasize that meaning, we use some kind of a gerund and so forth. Like, for example, we say abbat walahakato. Viju Vijote, something like that. So walahakato nikkamitva, we normally say. Vijote. The light shines from the walahaka means the cloud, nikkamitva. So likewise, in some cases, we put the like a gerund or something to explain the ablative meaning. So here, because this refers after the Pubbanimitta has occurred, we put Pattaya, Pubbanimitupatya, or Pacha after Pattaya, starting from that. Patichanna Jaraya Vasena, in terms of hidden sickness, and also Chetasika Roga Sachavase, in terms of mental sickness. Dukkadinang sambhavo veditabbo. The occurrence of suffering should be known, say something to them as well. This is how I would understand this sentence.
So Bante, so you're saying that they have those two kinds of suffering, starting from seeing the signs.
I would say obvious. They are obvious.
So when starting when the signs are obvious.
No, these sufferings become obvious to them. Like Patichanna Jara has occurred in them throughout the Deva life from the moment of their birth, but this becomes obvious. Now otherwise they don't normally understand that they have become aged. So according to what it says, a Deva is considered aged, like now he's close to death when the signs have occurred, because otherwise we cannot see a specific signs of aging. They remain as they are for the entire period, like very young. So when the signs have occurred, now they understand the Deva is about to die. It means they have already aged, so their lifespan is expired. So this Jara become obvious after this, and then Chetsika Roga, a strong unhappiness occurs in them after this sign has occurred. There can be dosa in their mind, but this is a very strong type of suffering occurs in them because they know they are going to die.
But then okay, so this is like a side question. So and then because you said that, and we also know that there is no tika for this. So how do you know this, Bante?
This one, I try to, because when because I've gone through the Patichanna Jara and Apatichanna Jara, these words, in some other places. Then Chetasika Roga, how to say, sickness in the Kilesas, we can say it as a Roga. I think it's very obvious, it can be considered. There are many places that it says the mental sickness. Kilesas are mental sickness. So I have gone through in some other places, I don't know where I went through, I forgot. There's a lot of unhappiness occurs in them after the sign has occurred. And this is, even they have Jara, and Apatichanna Jara normally means the Jara that is obvious, like especially in humans and animals. So then I try to combine them and get the meaning according to the context. So try to figure it out based on the other knowledge that we have gained. So this is how I personally, I would say, as you said, there's no tika to specifically understand this. This is how I would interpret based on the other knowledge.
Right. Yeah, but it's just because the word patichanna jaraya. So it's the hidden aging.
Yeah, hidden.
Yeah. So here you explain that the hidden aging is obvious, starting when those signs appears.
Yeah, because
right?
ultimately the hidden aging has happened from the birth moment.
Right, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, yeah,
No, that's a very good insight, Bante. Yeah.
sorry, sorry.
Okay, thank you, Bante.
So
Pandey?
yeah, yes, yeah. So you can go and
So
search.
like such
Just Kelly, I'll just give you some references. Actually, the two words are Patichanna Jara. You can search this word in the commentary for Majjhima Nikaya. Patichanna Jara, the opposite is Pakata Jara, not Apatichana, sorry. Pakata. So Pakata Jara, they says the change of like teeth, our the color starts to decay, like even this like the aging signs of a human. So the commentary says, you can see this in Majjhima commentary, page number 221, first book, right? First book. So it says Pakata Jara is obvious even by looking from the eyes. With eyes, the person can imagine, understand that this person has come into such sickness. Then Patichanna Jara is specifically mentioned about Arupa Dhammas, right? Patichanna Jara is in Arupa, Pakata Jara is in Rupa, right? Rupa. So this is the normal explanation in the commentary. Pakata Jara and Sapana Duvida, it's twofold. Pakata, Patichanna. So Pakata is in Rupa, Patichanna is in Nama. Patichanna is in Nama. Yes, Patichanna is Nama. So then we also Avici Jara and Savici Jara. Paninambiya, Paninambi. So Avici Jara means also Manda Sakadisu Paninambiya. Uppapalavadisa Apaninambiya. Antara Vanisa. So it is very difficult to know that Jara is difficult. It's called Avici Jara. Nirantara Jara. It is constantly happening. It's constantly happening. But even at the moment of while we are young, even if anything that is a tree or a fruit, and also mandasakadi supaninam, very small animals like ants or the hair and all, because their sickness is very difficult to be known. So that is also called avici jara. It means nirantara jara. It's always constantly happening. But if the jara can be known very clearly, like a human in 90 years and 30 years, it's obviously seen the difference. So that is called a savichi jara. So these are also another two words. Avichi jara and savichi jara, right? So what I did was, this formula I used to their Patichanna Jara. So Patichanna Jara, if we go based on the commentarial definition here, it's mental sickness, mental. But Pakata Jara, mental decaying of the nama. Pakata Jara is the decaying of the Rupa, but it says that is the Jara which is obvious. So opposite of Pakata is not obvious. So then a question comes whether the Pakata, the obvious Jara of the Rupa, can it be seen in the Deva world? So it is mentioned a female Deva is born like similar to the human realm, like that of 16 years of a woman, age girl. A male Deva is normally born like a 20-year-old. So it is said normally a lady is, according to the Buddhist literature, most beautiful at the age of around 16. A man is more handsome at the around age of around 20s. So, so a female is born like a 16-year-old deity, a male is like a 20-year-old deity, and they remain like that till the end. So even there is some of jara within them, it's obvious that constant jara and decaying is for sure in all the conditioned realities. But this, but it cannot be fall into pakata jara, though it is a rupa. So that's why I applied this patichanna into these deities' bodies. Though the definition originally comes for nama, which cannot be seen. So we are with the rupa of which the decay cannot be seen. We cannot put it as pakata jara, obviously, because the pakata jara comes like withering, wrinkling of hair, skin, graying of the hair, and so forth. So those things cannot be seen in the deity's body. So then the question comes, the decaying of their bodies, where does we put it? Pakata or patichanna? So I personally think it should go under patichanna. So that's why I explain in such way. But still, we can also bring their patichanna jara, means they are decaying of their mental process, like their bhavanga, like the mind process is also decaying. So it is going, decaying means the generation is about to stop. So it's the karma has got exhausted. So even that is applicable here.
Oh, okay. Pandey.
Yeah.
Here the Arupa Dharma is here. Arupa Dharma is refers to the Nama, right?
Yeah. Arupa Dhamma. According to this this commentary explanation. Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is from the Samadhi Sutta commentary.
Okay.
And also this type of similar explanation, I think I read in the Mahasatipatthana Sutta. They also have the similar explanation.
Okay, right. It means patichanna pakata.
But this similar explanation is something like when the beans they are becoming decay, come to old age, but the beans they don't know. Only when they like a wrinkly skin and gray hair come up, so they know or they become old. Such a type of explanation. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. It means like they don't know that they have gone aged, right? Others cannot.
Yeah. Know. And the beans themselves, they don't know. It's just because of ignorance.
You mean, yeah, the beans, like? Okay.
Yeah.
So surely the deities will not know, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So any discussions on this? Right. So then we come into another sentence. Could you please analyze this following sentence grammatically? Sadhu vatayasman vatayasmantang yeva sariputtang patibhatu etassa bhatisassa basitassa atto. The English translation is, it would be good if Venerable would explain the meaning of this sentence. Yes. So now this sentence. Sadhu matayasmantang yeva sariputtam patibhatu etassa bhatisassa atto. Patibhatu, may it appear in the mind, like may it be understood, or the idea should come into mind, right? So normally it's patibhatu means, if you go into the dictionary, we can see patibhatu word, patibhati, comes into one's mind or is evident. So the to occur to one, to be clear. So like when we say patibhatu means it appears, or normally an idea or meaning comes into someone's mind. That is called patibhatu. May this become clear to someone. Etassa basitassa atto. The meaning of that saying, basitassa, what has been said, that. So that what has been said, the meaning of that what has been said, may that meaning appear to the mind, appear in the mind. So how do we understand? Basitassa atto, patibhatu. Sadhu, it is good. Vatayasmanto, vatayasmantameva. So normally we translate sadhu vata. Vata is normally indeed. Sometimes we translate it as indeed, surely, right? Certainly, indeed. So it is good indeed that such a idea would come to the mind of Venerable Sariputta. Right. So then the question comes, how do we get the meaning? Like here it is written in accusative case, vatayasmantameva, right? So if we just analyze this roughly, etassa basitassa atho ayas mantang sari puttang eva pati bahatu, right? Sadhuvata, that is good, right? Sadhuvata. It is so this one sadhuvata. This sadhuvata is not a part of personally, if we take it as a part of the thing, like we have to say sadhu patibhatu. We normally don't use it. Sadhuvata means it is, he is telling it is good. It is indeed it is good. That if it like sometimes we can say well thoroughly. Sadhu can be well thoroughly, and also all right, and also appreciation. Sometimes we say sadhu sadhu. So we normally say it's good and we it's profitable, or we just appreciate that. We appreciate. Sometimes it also goes as so it says this commonly sadhu gacha, please go. Sadhu gacha, please go. So sometimes they are coming into the ideas like it's something good, so we are appreciating something. That is also the idea of sadhu sometimes. So we can have some few ways of thinking on this matter. So if we just leave this sadhuvata just outside the sentence, we can see etassa bhatisatta atto ayasmantang sariputtang e patibhatu. This accusative case should be taken as normally, according to grammar, genitive. Ayas man tassa sari puttassa eva, right? But because of patibhatu, this is written in accusative case. So either we can take this sadhu is connected as adverb. Etassa bhatisassa atto ayasmantang sariputtang eva sadhu patibhatu. May this meaning of the what has been uttered become evident or occurs in the mind of Venerable Sariputta well. So otherwise, yeah, we can say that they are saying it. Then it is also he is appreciating that may this meaning occurs in the mind of Venerable Sariputta. So otherwise, indeed, may this meaning appear in the mind of Venerable Sariputta very well. May this very well occur in the mind of Venerable Sariputta. So this is how we can see the meanings. Yeah, this is what I can at the moment suggest, that I not very confident to give a specific idea on this, because the sadhu, the how to apply the word sadhu is like we can have few ways, it seems. But this Ayasmantang Sariputtang is normally translated as in genitive case, but because of Patibatu, it is put into this accusative form. So I think the English translation has been given. If something, because they have been requesting, they come and request to Sariputta, may this, it is better that now Sariputta ask a question. What is the meaning of this, what Buddha has said? Then they say, yes, it's better that the Venerable Sariputta gets the understand the meaning and explain to us very detailed. So that is the context in which it is found. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Bante. So and then the word patipati is to appear to the mind or to be evident. So
Yeah.
so that is the English translation, right? But and then here, so how can we say that the word, how can we say that the instead of ayasmantang sariputtang, it is ayasmantassa sariputtassa in the genitive case? Why is it genitive case, not the dative case?
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I think this is the reason. To go into the commentary of Majjhima Nikaya, commentary Nam 1404. I think some similar sutta, which I'm not sure which sutta it is. It says, Ayasmantang eva sariputtam patibatu. Right. Yeah, we'll go to the commentary itself. It's easy, otherwise I have to write all. Mula Pannasa, Pinnaya, Sutta, Majjhima, 104. How do we search this? This sutta should be.
I think it's the Dhammadayata Sutta.
First Vagga or second Vagga?
Huh?
Which Vagga?
Mula Pannasa Athakatha 111.
No. Which Vagga of the Nangana? No, not Anangana, right? By Bhairava. Dhammadayada. Which Vagga of the Dhammadayada, number 2 or number 3? 104. 104. We'll go into this. Right. This is what, yeah. I hope you can see here. Ayasmantang eva sariputtam patibhatu. Ayasmato yeva sariputtasya bhago hoti. So may this be the
No, Bandia. Should it be the paragraph 31?
Yeah, I'm here.
Paragraph. Oh, okay.
Can't you see that on the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, we can see it.
Ayasmanto yeva sariputtasya bhago hotu. May this be the portion of Venerable Sariputta. Ayasmapana sariputto attano bhagam katva. May Venerable Sariputta, having made it your own portion, vibhajatuti uttang hoti. May you explain it, or may you explain dividing it. Ayasmato hi bhago yadidang attakhanam amhakam pana savanam bhagoti. It's our duty, our portion. Your portion is to express the meaning. It's our portion is to savana, is to listen. Adipayo. Evang saddha lakkanang lakkanena samiti. So according to that, that is how it is. It is the if the meaning is taken in that manner, it matches with the grammar. Kechipana bananti. Some says patibhatuti dissatuti. Some say may it be seen by Sariputta. Dissatu, like dissati, it be seen. Apare, some says upattahatu, may it occur in him. Upattahatu. So if we say it seems, if it is upattahatu, then we have to go for the genitive meaning. Sariputtasya upattahatu. So then if we say dissatu, may it be seen to or by dissatu, then we have to say Sariputtena dissati. But actually, the dissatu means still it goes to the meaning atto dissatu. So we can say by Sariputta. It may be seen by Sariputta. So then some say it bhago hotu, may it be patibhatu means bhago hotu, may it be his portion. In that case, they take the genitive case. So that's why we normally, I have seen in grammar books, they say that genitive meaning is used in the accusative case is used in the genitive meaning. Now it is getting clear that they have three meanings: bhago hotu, patibha dissatu, upattahatu. So upattahatu means if we say upattahatu, appear to him, I think it's better to take it as a dative case, may it appear. But I think the root upattahati is always governed by genitive, isn't it? Genitive or dative? I forgot.
I remember what we learned is that it's genitive case. But it's
Genitive, right?
Yes.
Okay. Upattahatu?
I'm not sure about the word upattahatu.
Patibhatu is genitive normally, right?
Yeah, that's what I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is the reason why they have come into such explanation.
Also, when they say here we have keji and appare. So keji
Yeah.
is okay. That's the lowest standard. But
Okay.
appare is the same, right? Bante?
Yeah, it's
Appare
similar,
is
right?
the same level, right?
Sorry?
I mean, so when we see the word keji, so that means the commentator doesn't like that.
Yeah, like means it's said by some. Yeah.
Yeah, but keji means he considered that person as lower than him.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But then appare is like the same. He put that opinion at the same level, right? Bante?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I have also heard by some. Some say, but when you look into information, sometimes the Kechivada, they say Kechivada. So some learned shadows, even the commentators have given Kechi. If it has not been rejected, they consider like if it was not strongly rejected, they would still consider about that. But the word kechi is not a very good, seems like. Normally what we feel is most of the cases kechi is like rejected. There are many cases where kechi has been rejected.
Yes, as we already learned, like Geji Bana or Apari or something like this. So Bandi, I think here we should not take a dative case because as we already learned, generally the genitive case can be taken as accusative meaning. But very rare to see the dative case can be taken as accusative meaning.
That's why we now, if it is appearing to someone, why do we take it as genitive instead of dative? If something appears to someone, it should be dative, right?
But that is the English translation, but we have to according to the Pali grammar, right?
Okay. Yeah, because last time our conversation, it is normally a genitive according to Kachan. But yeah, but when we think into the essence, it seems the dative is much better. But traditionally, they go into genitive. Yeah. That's why Venerable Nodiyana once mentioned this dative and genitive is not exactly clear in Pali. So, shall we move to the next question then? Okay. So then we have another one. As far as I remember, Bhante once mentioned there was some miscellaneous teaching that even the Bhante Ananda couldn't memorize. Couldn't memorize. Could Bhante please explain what is the reason for that? Is it because the profoundness of those teachings, or is it because the quantities of those teachings are just simply too large to be memorized? It says that these are called Samukhansika Desana. These are two things: Samukhansika Desana and Pakinnaka Desana. Pakinnaka Desana are the miscellaneous ones. Samukhansika Desana are unique teachings. Samukhansika means Samak Ukkansika. That was preached by his own experience, own wisdom, that are unique. Even Venerable Sariputta has Samukhansika Desana because he has a very special wisdom other than the other Savakas. So he has there are some places Samukhansika Desana was given. Samukhansika refers to, like, sometimes we give teachings based on the Buddha's Tipitaka, like quoting from here and there. Sometimes based on their own experience and own wisdom, they may create some new teachings. New means give some new explanations, but they are not contradicting with the fundamentals. That is to be important. That is very important. So Samukhansika means a teaching that was given by someone's own experience or capability without relying on someone else. So Buddha's Samukhansika is very special. You can find this word in many places. Samukhansika Desana. Now, Venerable Yasa, if you go to the Vinaya Pitaka, he came to the Buddha. Then he explained in step by step. First, he explained Dana Kata, Sila Kata, Sagga Kata, the benefits of Dana, benefits of Sila, what nature of the heavens, Kamanang Adinava, the disadvantages of the sensual pleasures, Nekkamme Anisansa, benefits of giving up the pleasures, and so forth. So this was the ordinary explanation with a sequence. Then, having known that listening to this teaching, the person's mind has become pure. Halla chittang, mudu chittang, vinivarana chittang. His mind is freed from nivarana. It is now very, very adaptable. It's very, very soft. So it can be used like gold can be used for whatever means. So when the mind is very calm and pure, which can be used for intellect, like deep insights. So then Buddha gives the Samukhansika Desana. He utters the Samukhansika Desana. Then listening to that, normally beings get the enlightenment. So that is the normal explanation about Samukhansika. So if we go into some good example of this Mahavagga, in the Mahavagga, we can see Panchavagya, Pabbajja Katha, Marakatha. Right. Pabbajja Katha. Yeah. Yaso Nama Kulaputto. If you can look into this. He also gave up the yeah, this is the place where Blessed One gave, Buddha gave. Ekamantang nisinno, nisinnasako, yasassa kulaputtassa. Bhagava, anupubbikatang kates. Anupubbikatang, this is the word. No, anupubbikatang means step by step, like he, or in order. What are these anupubbikata? Dana kata, sila kata, sagga kata, kamanang adinava. About dana, about sila, about the heavens, kamanang adinava, disadvantages of kama, orakang, the lowness, sankilesang, they are defiled, like they are objects of defilements, supporting the defilements. Nekkamme anisansang pakases, benefits of renunciation. Yada bhagava anyas, when the Blessed One knows, he is yasang kulaputta. The yasa kulaputta has a kalla chitta. It's a suitable mind. Mudu chitta, a soft mind. Minivarna chitta. His mind is freed from suffering. These are all bahubihi samasa. When he knew the yasa kulaputta has such level. Udagga chittang, elated mind. Pasanna chittang, purified mind. Atta ya buddhanang samukkansika desana tampakasis. Then there is the desana which is Samukkansika of the Buddhas, Buddhana Samukkansika, Dhamma Desana, the Tampaka says. So which the Desana which is called the Samukkansika of the Buddhas, then he uttered that. What is that? Dukkang Samudayang Nirodhang Maggang, the Four Noble Truths. So in some cases, he gradually teaches the Dhamma and goes into this Samukka. So the tradition says this Samukkansika is very detailed and deep, profound. So even Venerable Ananda cannot remember this, cannot memorize this. Even the person who got enlightened cannot remember it as it is. That's the thing. They can remember the meaning. They get enlightened. They know what the Buddha has taught. They cannot remember is that in specific, like as it is, as it was preached. So that is because of its quantity. Since its quantity, not the quality, because of its quality was understandable. So that's why listening to this Dhamma Chakkung Udapadi, the wisdom arose in them. So the deepness would have also caused for the difficulty of memorizing. I think there should be some effect on it. But the main reason is it's too long. It's very detailed. And it's very quickly preached, very fast. So because of these reasons, said that Samukkansika Desanas are not remembered. I think he doesn't preach it again to Venerable Ananda. Even Ananda was listening there because of its detailed nature, and profoundness also should play a role in there, in that it is not kept in the mind. Even the listener who got at Arahant can remember it as it is. That is called Samukkansika Desana. But we also have to keep in mind Samukkansika Desana is given by some other disciples also based on their own experience. Samukkansika means these are given by their own experience. You can see this in two types of Desana. The Venerable Sariputta's first prophecy, receiving the first prophecy, he got it from Buddha Anomadasi. So the two disciples were asked to preach Dhamma. The chief disciple, the first disciple, preached the Dhamma based on his Savaka Paramiññana. And the second disciple, based on the Tipitaka Buddha Vachana. So same teaching was given, one Puppa Anumodana, but two ways, based on his own wisdom, based on the Tipitaka. So if a teaching was given based on their own wisdom, that is called Samukkansika. So in some places we find in the commentary, it says that was a Samukkansika of Venerable Sariputta. Samukkansika of Venerable Sariputta. So therefore, but the Buddha's Samukkansika is very unique. That's why I use the word unique, because Samang Ukkansika, that was it was lifted or it was delivered by his own ability, not based on not greatly based on the other teachings. Pakinnaka Desana is something different. Pakinnaka Desana is the teachings that the Buddha has given here and there. Like someone could come and discuss with the Buddha, he would explain some detailing what is the meaning of this and this. This Desana is not very official like Samukkansika. It's not very fast, like a casual discussion. Or after the teachings were Buddha has, some people has left, maybe monks could come and to a group of monks he would explain, this is what I meant. So these are called Pakinnaka Desana. Tahin tahin utta, it was said here and there. This is different from Samukkansika. So the Pakinnaka Desanas were gathered. Even the parts of Samukkansika, after someone has listened to a Samukkansika, surely there is something in his mind, that's for sure. Because that's why he got enlightened. So in the end, that parts of Samukkansika, which was remembered by different Savakas, also would have been Pakinnaka, like ended up, because just bits of information were remained, not the entire thing. Pakinnaka Desana is the explanations the Buddha has given here and there about certain teachings. So they were also gathered in the councils, because surely different arahants would have had different discussions with the Buddha. So some would have said, this is how he explained to me, this is how he explained to me. So there would have been some inputs of the knowledge. So these Pakinnaka Desana, some sub-commentaries say, these Pakinnaka, the commentary is, the ancient commentaries which were brought to Sri Lanka were the Pakinnaka Desanas, which were given by the Buddha. So they are going to give a status, the commentary, as it was similar to the Buddha's teachings. But one sub-commentary says, it clearly says, Pakinnaka Desana is the root, moolam of the commentary, is the root of the commentary, not the entire commentary. Moolam, Attakathaya moolam. It was the cause of the commentary, like the beginning thing of the commentary. Attakathaya moolam. So therefore, in that regard, I would go to that meaning that it is the commentaries are the based on, that is how I would translate, based on Pakinnaka Desanas, but later developed laterly with additions of the different teachers. So this is the difference of Pakinnaka Desana and Samukkansika Desana. And sometimes we find some teachings like having promulgated or regulated, registered a rule, he gives the explanations like these are the benefits of being having good qualities, good characters, and so forth. So likewise, Buddha has given some Dhamma explanations on after laying down a rule. Those Dhamma explanations are not fully found in the Tipitaka. So they also fall into, some of them are fall into Pakinnaka. Some of them have been recorded in Dhammapada. Some Dhammapada Gathas, the commentary says, this was uttered after this Sikkapada was laid down. Now, for example, when the first Sanghadisesa emission, like for example, the emission of semen was done by one monk. Buddha said he was doing it regularly. Then Buddha said, it is not proper. A person may do some evil deed. It can happen to a Puthujjana being, but he should not repeat it. He should not repeat it. There's a gatha. Papanche puriso kaira, netang kaira punapuna, something like that. A similar gatha. So that was preached after the first Sanghadisesa rule was promulgated. So likewise, there are some teachings that are not recorded, which are not Samukkansika, but still not recorded in the Tipitaka. They are the Pakinnaka Desanas. So some sub-commentators want to attribute all the commentaries into these Pakinnaka Desanas. some in one sub-commentary it says Pakinnaka Desana are the root of these commentaries. The commentaries are built on these teachings. So these are the two ideas about the commentaries, and Samukkasika is quite different. That was a very long, fast teaching about the Four Noble Truths, listening to which someone got enlightened, but even the listener couldn't remember it as it is because of its, especially because of quantity and also the profoundness.
Okay, Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
Here the Diga mentions like regarding the Patinaka Desana is mentioned Sama Sambuddhe ne vahi tinang bipida ganang athavana nagamo pasiro. But after that, they also say Tado Sangayanadi Vasena Savagihi the Ajarya Vatandi. So here the Acharya, who are those Acharyas?
They normally say Acharya is Arahants, the great disciples who participated in the councils.
But here they didn't mention which Buddhist council, right?
Yeah. No, it doesn't mention. But we normally take the entire thing.
So here we have to take the first Sangayana or second or third?
All three.
Okay, that means here the mention the Bhaginaga Desana is also based on the like a Tipidaga.
Yeah. That's why some wants to say that it is entirely of the Buddha's teachings, but it doesn't seem like Pakinnaka Desana, even though they want to attribute it. It surely doesn't represent the entire the people, the monks. That even whenever Buddhaghosa has not considered it like that. Like because he has rejected, there are many places that he has rejected the commentaries, ancient commentaries, in reference to the Tipitaka. So if he believed that, if he considered that the teachings, the entire teachings are coming from the Buddha, he would not do such thing. He would not do such thing like look at, then we have to even the commentary and the text doesn't match each other, then he would like to make it a different fundamental, like to show that it is also a teachings of the Buddha, because we don't reject one teaching of the Buddha based on another teaching. We don't do that normally. So therefore even though it is mentioned, as you said, for example, I'll share the screen. Just give me one moment. I've come to the I have opened the thesis, like where I wrote about this. Like, so it says Buddha's messianic teachings and Mahapadesa are called Attakatha, right? As the Attakatha was gathered and recited in the manner it was done with the canon by the members of the council, it is called Acharya Vada. Therefore, Attakatha is included in the Sutta and Suttanuloma. So some says Attakatha is equal to Sutta and Suttanuloma, right? So then some say Samma Sambuddhena Vahi Tinnampi Pitakanam. There are many places where these different references. Samma Sambuddhena Vahi Tinnampi Pitakanam Atta Sangmannanakamo Basito. The explanation of the three baskets of Dhamma, which are called Pakinnaka Desana, were given by the Buddha himself. Ya Pakinnaka Desanati Vuchati. Tato Sangayanadi Vasena Savake Hita Acharya Vadanti. And also afterwards, they were recited by the disciple. This is the idea of ancient teachers, right? Tatos. So you mean this Acharya, right? Sangayanadi Vasena.
Yes.
So these Acharya, sorry, I made a mistake. These Acharyas are the teachers, like when the commentaries were written, the ancient teachers, not the counselors. Counselors were Sangayanadi Vasena Savakehi. Savakas are counselors. These Acharya are just ancient teachers. Right? Just scholars maybe.
Yeah, but this teacher is later than the Sangayana, right?
Right. So yeah, according to this explanation, ancient elders suggested that though the commentarial explanations which are called Pakinnaka Desana were delivered by the Buddha himself, they were coined as Acharyavada. They were named as Acharyavada, ancient teachers, as they were gathered and recited by the disciples. Because these teachings were gathered and recited by the disciples, they were called Acharyavada. Other than that, the explanations are by directly for the Buddha. So this is the explanation given by the sub-commentators, two sub-commentators. Like, they were gathered and recited and gathered by the disciples, so they were called Acharyavada. Other than that, in the essence, they are should be included in sutta. Attakatha, suttanu loemes, Acharyavadoti vutta, tena cha attakatha, sutta suttanu lomesu atto. So this is, therefore, Attakatha is included in the Sutta and Suttanuloma. Right? These were given by Vimati Vinodini Tika and Dika Nikaya Tika. Okay. Then another one, Vinaya Sutta Bidhammanam Pakinnaka Desana Vasena Yo Patamang Atto Vibhavito. So eva Pacha Tassa Tassa Sangvannana Vasena Sangaha Teriki Sangahang Aropitoti. I think some mistake has happened. The meaning of Vinaya Sutta and Abhidhamma doctrines, which was first propounded by the Samma Sambuddha, was later collected and gathered by the members of the council as the explanation of this and that teaching. So this is Majjhima Nikaya Tika. However, the Sarathadipani sub-commentary is not confident about the Buddha's preacherhood of commentaries. Yadipana tatta tatta pavatta bhagavato pakinnaka desana attakatha. If these teachings that are preached by the Buddha, pakinnaka desanas here and there, are the attakatha, if yadi sapana dhamma sangahakehi tepitakam buddha vachanang sangayitva tassa atta sangmana rupena vachana maggang aropitatha acharyavado nama. So if the miscellaneous teachings delivered by the Buddha in various locations are called attakatha, having recited the threefold baskets of Tipitaka, it was added to the mode of recitations in the form of explanation of the Tipitaka by the monks who compiled the Dhamma in councils. So then those teachings were gathered and added as the explanation of the by the scholars. So these are the explanations that are given by ancient teachers. So I'm wondering where it is it was said the Mula. Wait, just give me one moment. Mula. Yeah. Then in the Vimati Vinodini Tika, in one place, it says, Eva Rupa hi pakinnaka desana attakataya moolam. This is another word. In the Pakinnaka, Vimati says, the Pakinnaka desana, such Pakinnaka desana are the mula of attakata. Mula means a root, right? Mula here, attakataya mula. So was the roots of attakata. So this, I would go with this meaning. It's not the entire attakata was the Pakinnaka desana, because if so, it was nothing other than the Buddha's teachings. Then the Buddha Gosa would not have rejected some such points. Yeah. So this is what the my personal understanding, my personal viewpoint is, the sub-commentators wanted to give more weight to the commentarial literature. So they mentioned that the entire commentary was teachings of the Buddha, which was the Pakinnaka Desanas, and to show that the Attakatha should not be rejected by any means. But at the same time, ironically, the sub-commentators themselves have sometimes rejected the commentary, and even whenever Buddhaghosa has rejected the ancient commentaries, showing some discrepancies in the commentary and the canon. Yeah. This is what we saw about Pakinnaka Desana and Samukkansaka Desana. This is a huge debate that what is this Pakinnaka Desana within the traditional of monks.
Okay, thank you so much, Pandit.
Okay, so shall we call it a day then? Because it's 11 in Myanmar, 10 here.
Yes, Pandit.
Okay, so we have a few more questions. Yeah, lot getting, okay, we'll discuss about week by week. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Bante.